What's going on, folks? This is Acid Root, so welcome to Donkey Kong 3 playthrough. So basically, back in October, I remember or somewhere around that time when I was doing Donkey Kong Country 2, I said that I wasn't going to do Donkey Kong 3, but considering that I'm really running out of games that I can actually beat on this channel, you know, with the fiascos that were games like Tomb Raider and Jackie Chan's Stunt Master, among things, but I kind of figured I needed, you know, basically this channel to be afloat still, so I said, hey, you know, I actually do have somewhat of a history with Donkey Kong Country 3, so I kind of figured I could beat this game, and it's definitely not going to be 100% playthrough. I know that takes, you know, pretty good gamer skills to do it 103%, but I'm at least going to get the regular ending in this game. I know I can at least do that, so that's what we're going to head into. And this is kind of a wonky game. I definitely feel like it's kind of wonky in a lot of senses just because it doesn't really have a theme. And that was something that tricked me back in the 90s when I was younger. It tricked me back in those days because I was used to like the pirate theme of Donkey Kong Country 2, and I was like, well, what's the gimmick of this one? But really, for those who don't know, who still, even today, even if you're in your late 20s or 30s or further and you don't know the concepts behind what made Donkey Kong Country 3 tick, basically what they did this time around was they just had a lot more lateral stages where it was more about like the gimmicks in the stages. Like, there's a stage in this game where it has like a giant buzzsaw that's trying to cut down a tree and you have to escape it, and those type things, you know, like there's another stage where you have to race like a swarm of bees and that type of stuff. So a lot of these stages have gimmicks to them. It just really showcases like the finale of what the developer of this Rare thought that the Super Nintendo could do. And that's kind of the concept. It just really pulled out all the stops, introduced some new characters and tricks and goodies and that type stuff. And that's basically the concept. I mean, it's creative just in the sense, but I feel like Donkey Kong Country 2 is still probably ultimately the best one, at least in my opinion, of the three, just because of the interesting stages and the themes and some of that stuff. It's just not quite as cosmetic. I mean, really, you're not going to find like a special world like the Beehive world, and then like the amusement park, and then like the colorful green swamps and the ghoulish emo forest that was in the last one. So this game really doesn't have worlds like that, but it does make up for it just in like creativity. That's what you have really to kind of combat the supposed finesse that the last game had. And I don't know, there's some folks that feel like this game is actually worse than the first Donkey Kong Country also, which, I mean, the first one pisses me off mainly because of the ice world. I mean, there's just, those snow stages are real bastards just because it's really pretty. I mean, if you don't take the shortcut in those snow stages, it really can be an ass of a time. So I just kind of feel like it's just not worth it. But luckily, this game doesn't have those sorts of things lined up for it. I mean, I would basically say I can pretty much do this, but let's go ahead and talk about the characters. So, yeah, you should know about Dixie Kong at this stage, but then there's also a secondary character. You know, that would be Kiddy Kong, and he's not, I mean, you can tell this by the character design that he's not really intended to have star power, because it basically was under the sense that there wasn't going to be another Donkey Kong after this one. But I don't use this character overabundantly, but you're going to kind of have to get used to him, and it's just kind of, I mean, to me he's just somewhat cumbersome just because he's slower than Dixie. And, you know, I don't know. It just kind of depends. I mean, it seems like the placement, it's intended, this game is intended, by this point, the series kind of grafted more towards like the younger set. This is definitely the most childish of the three Donkey Kong Country games. It's not to say like it's bad, but it's just kind of like the goofiness and kind of like tenacity of this game is just different. I mean, it just kind of felt like it went from maybe like 12 and 14 year olds to more like 7 and 9 year olds almost. And it's not, I mean, to the credit of this is a tough game that adults probably would struggle with, but it just kind of feels like the cosmetics behind this are just, you know, more kind of bubbly and softer. But I still like the game. I mean, it's still, like I said, I mean, this is a game that you want to own for the Super Nintendo. To me, it just felt like more of a rental, and that's how I treated it back when I was younger. I knew that back in 1996 and 1997, when I was young, 7, 8, that type stuff. But so yeah, that's a trick that you're gonna have to do for this, is to kind of like Kitty will roll off the water, and that's what you have to kind of pay attention to, just to kind of say that. So you have to hit the jump button right as he taps the water. It's tricky, we'll say that, but it's the only way you're gonna get 100% is by mastering that move. So yeah, so I've just been kind of taking it easy, trying to figure out more games I can do on this channel. I'm eventually going to get back to Mystic Quest. I had some good McDonald's yesterday, so I'm getting back into the swing of having some fast food. I need to get back into the swing of having Taco Bell and stuff. I mean, that's something that's going to happen. I just figured I'd kick off this game. I'm also thinking about messing with unit racers. I'm going to have to go ahead and get that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I might just do that and kind of fuck around and go and get like Uniracers and then like some donuts. I'm definitely thinking that might just be something to do. I think I could probably knock that out because I do want to do Uniracers. I do want to have some other games because this is going to be kind of plain and formulaic if these are the only games I'm doing. It's just Donkey Kong 3 and then like Mystic Quest. So I want to add something to the mix, and truthfully I'd like to do more of Jackie Chan, but if Stage 4 is just going to piss me off, I just don't see the context behind doing it. So it's unfortunate, but what can you do, I'm just trying to find more videos to throw up on this channel because I think it would be vastly interesting to get some more stuff, because I kind of treat it kind of in like I'm trying to think of other, I definitely want to say Griffin Lobster's YouTube channel would be such an ingredient where his videos just kind of happened and it was a celebration when they did, but I can't think of too many other YouTubers that had that sort of approach towards their YouTube channel. And that's just kind of the situation. I mean, there's certain, most Let's Players at this stage are kind of committing to 4-hour streams, and it's not I like streams if you can actually excel at them. I mean, it's not so much the concept of the streams that's the problem, but it's just kind of, I do miss the concept of a classic 15 or 22 part Let's Play back in 2012 and stuff. Those were awesome. So we need those still. I mean, if you're a streamer, power to you, definite power to you, but we need the other stuff too. We need classic Let's Plays and that type vibe. But just kind of interesting. But yeah, so these bonus games are you have to complete them, so don't think obviously by this stage you should know that you have to actually beat these to be able to get the percentage, but yeah, they're just kind of they're just kind of strategically placed, and it's just yeah, it's kind of the thing there. So, but I'm just gonna try to go for the ones I remember. I mean, I don't it's not even so much I remember from being younger, but just when I've watched playthroughs of this, I've at least seen other folks try and attempt these. So, but yeah, this is one of the new stage themes. This is kind of what I'm talking about here, where this is kind of like a Millhouse. Kind of I want to say that's actually like a Simpsons character. I don't know. I want to say Millhouse might be a Simpsons character. I don't remember, but this kind of wood shop. You think of a wood shop type thing. I mean, I feel like for some reason it felt like the developers. It's not like these areas suck, but it just is kind of you wonder. It could have been let me think for a moment. Think of some areas that it could have been, like a volcano. They could have had a volcano area. They did do that in the second one. Never mind. Ice pond stage where you could have been walking on ice. Those type of things. There's plenty of situations I could go on to think. like streets. Like they could have done like a city stage. I mean, I know that they wanted to imply like nature and stuff, but this isn't really nature. I don't know. You get the idea as far as how some of that goes. I just wonder. I know they only had a year to really pump out this game, but it's just kind of the same thing with like Earthworm Jim 2, where like Earthworm Jim 2 just didn't quite feel as good as the first one, and I mean, because of the lack of success of that game, that's kind of why Earthworm Jim basically like got sabotaged within a year of starting. That's kind of the thing. But really, the main reason why I discredit Earthworm Jim 2 for people who actually remember that game is just because the stages were just very awkward and they were kind of gimmicky also. I mean, I feel like stages in the first one, like the submarine stages and the hanging from the snot stages and the what the heck stages, those were all creative, and I don't know. I mean, for some reason the second one just didn't stick with me as much. But that's just kind of the concept, is it just feels like, I don't know. You get the idea. I mean, I just wonder how like the consensus behind some of these other folks as far as like the connections they made with some of these games is just mostly because people were starting to mess with the PlayStations. Like, really, Resident Evil was out as this game was out, and so was Tomb Raider, so was Crash Bandicoot and those type games. And I want to say there were like a couple other ones. And I'll tell you, that bee is really fucking me up just because it moves so slow. I mean, the mechanics in this game are that much slower. They don't move quickly. I mean, you would think being able to avoid those enemies would be something, but I'm waiting for the bee to hurry its ass up, and it just slowly kind of curts along. It's like you shoot by thinking it's going to move by the time you move up, but it doesn't. Really, that pissed me off when I was playing this. I mean, I was like, come on, this is the second stage in the goddamn game. This should not be happening this quickly. But it happened again. So I think they make those characters move slow on purpose, just because they want that to happen. It's kind of a nefarious trick this soon in the game. So, but yeah, back to like what I was saying. I mean, by this point, yeah, you could mess with the PlayStation and stuff, and there were games that actually kicked ass around that time. I don't remember them all, but the PlayStation was a pretty mighty machine. Definitely would have to say it was a lot of fun. And I don't know, I need to mess with Resident Evil, something like that, but it's just kind of, yeah, I don't know the specific cost and how far I could actually get in the damn game. And I don't know if it has controls lined up with the DualShock controller on top of that. So, I would like to say it does, but Tomb Raider doesn't, as I've learned. That's the main reason why I suck at, like, Tomb Raider 1, is just because, it just doesn't mess with DualShock, and I want to say I'm not sure if Tomb Raider 2 does either, because the DualShock didn't come out until like a couple years with the PlayStation. It's just kind of just interesting. That's how video games need to be. They need to have games like this along with games like just that kind of vibes. Resident Evil, having to choose between this game and Resident Evil is just kind of a kick-ass vibe about it. This makes sense. Between this game and Final Fantasy VII and that type stuff. So these bees are kind of pissing me off some. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they're not. You get the idea. So always have to be patient. You know, you could make like a meta or a bad pun in there, but so yeah, that's the end of the stage. But just kind of, of course, I missed the 1-up or the 2-up. It's not just a 1-up; it's a 2-up. So that's double slap to the face. Alright folks, so I'll see you next time. We'll get more of this playthrough kind of going. Subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night, and I will definitely see y'all in part 2.